Hello, genius. How are you today? You know that I'm always very passionate about these conversations I have with you, and I call them conversations because I'm not here to give you a lecture. I am not here to preach at you. I am here to just open my heart to you. Um, by sharing my story and my thoughts and my experiences, I am in no way positioning myself as a guru or a teacher or a master, but I am simply turning myself into a mirror that can help you to see yourself for who you truly are. Because the process of self reflection, which I like to call by its more fancy term, metacognition, is the actual image of God in you and I. And that is the only way you can transform your life. That is the only way you actually are fully human, through self reflection. So I know that thinking is the most difficult thing for humans, but that is what makes us human. And that is why my work is really focused on helping you to reflect. I am nothing, akin to a motivational speaker. I have no interest in making you feel good. That is why some people find my writings very difficult to digest. I do the best I can to be very simple in my language. I use, personal stories, childhood stories, stories from my culture. I do everything in my write ups to make people see themselves in what I write. But some people still complain they don't like to read 1,000 words a day. And I'm like, come on, in the information age, if you cannot read 1,000 words a day, then you are like 5,000 years behind time. Because those who can even start calling themselves average, they read at least one book a month. If you want to lead, you need to start reading at least one book a week. So when I write 1,000 words a day in my daily reflections, it's very intentional because I know that if I get you to read 1,000 words a day, by the end of the year, you would have read 365,000 words, right? That's approximately 10 to 12 books, an average size book of 30,000 words. So I deliberately do what I do because there's a science behind most of what I do, and with the understanding that we are on earth not to quote unquote succeed. We are on earth to manifest who we are as humans. And I said succeed quote unquote because the motivational or self-help industry has given success a bad name. People think that the purpose in life is to get more money, to get that job, to get that big house, to get that fancy car, to get that life partner, and so on. And so life is all about this um, craziness, this um, working harder and harder, buying, more and more seminars and courses, applying more and more strategies and techniques, going for, miracle prayers and crusades, all for the purpose of getting more stuff. And we think that that is success. But what I know is that you are not here to get stuff. You're here to release your imprisoned splendor. Because look at nature. When you sow a seed in the ground, that seed carries within itself the power through which it's going to transform into a tree. And that tree, from that seed, is going to give birth to 1,000 fruits, each of which will give more seeds. So life evolves from within. It doesn't accumulate from without. So the Western culture that we have adopted, well, involuntarily, because it was forced on us through colonialism and slavery and all of that. If you look at the indigenous African cultures, especially the spiritual culture of Africa, you see a holistic paradigm of life, a paradigm that recognizes you as a spiritual being who is one with God, one with your ancestors, so the beings that are no longer in their physical body, one with your environment, one with one another. And so life is basically an economy of value exchange, being one another's keeper. That is what you see in an authentic African tradition. But Western culture, the Western paradigm that gave birth to this quote unquote civilization, was built on the Newtonian paradigm of materialism, that everything is physical. The building blocks of nature are atoms. Atoms are just moving around at random, bombarding into each other and forming things. And humans are the product of evolution. The universe evolved from some big bang, and even the process of consciousness is just an phenomenon of all that craziness. Now, there is no greater madness than the paradigm of materialism, because nature itself is an antithesis to that thesis. I don't understand how for hundreds of years people actually defended the paradigm of materialism until, fortunately for us, quantum physics itself, which is like science stretched to its limit, quantum physics itself has disproven the paradigm of materialism, and then now we are back to where our ancestors were when they were teaching us that we are spiritual beings living in an entangled universe. We're connected with everything else. We're connected with one another. Our bodies are just vehicles that our spirits are using to navigate space-time and create these experiences. And the purpose of this earthly experience is to give expression to that which we are, that spirit which we are. And if we are spirit and we're all connected and God is spirit, then what are we? We are God in human flesh. So this incarnation, this individualization gives a unique expression to that one divine essence. So think of the sun, that is one whole at its source, but as it beams out, it creates this trillions of beams spreading in all directions, each beam creating a unique experience that makes it different from every other beam. But all of them have the same origin, and all of them return to the same destiny. So that's a miracle of human life. And the reason why I like to always bring your attention back to this is because there's really nothing more powerful than remembering who you are. All the noise and haste of life is just keeping you busy for nothing. And society is structured in a way that you should stay busy, because if you wake up, you will become powerful. And when you become powerful, you become uncontrollable. And when you look at it, the religious systems of the world are based on control. The government systems of the world are based on control. The economic systems of the world are based on control. So if more people wake up from this rat race, if more people wake up from this bubble they are living in, if more people wake up from this illusion, if more people wake up from this hypnosis, guess what? Those control systems will be weakened. So there is no power out there, there's no organized structure out there that has a vested interest in your enlightenment. Not even the educational system, definitely not the religious systems. They will lie to you that they are here to help you go to heaven. Guess what? The utopic idea of a certain heaven out there that you will enter into only after you die, and on the condition that you fulfill certain rules and regulations and receive certain sacraments and whatever here on earth, and submit to certain authorities. That is classic. I mean, it's straight out of the book of slavery. So if you ask me where is the headquarter of slavery today, I'll tell you it's the Vatican. Don't get me wrong, I am a Roman Catholic Christian, and the reason why I am still Roman Catholic is that I am either Roman Catholic or I'm not a Christian, because any other thing out there, let me know, I'll not even blink saying it. They are pseudo Christianity. I mean, in the Christian realm, anything non-Catholic is pseudo Christian, because they don't even know what Christianity is. Look at, if I wanted to be a pastor today, I'll just jump over and start claiming that God said to me that I've seen this vision. Look at what happened when COVID started. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry started seeing visions, right? People started making prophecies and all of that. So that is a subject for another day. But the greatest madness of our time is this religious nonsense. Institutionalized religion is the most efficient weapon of slavery in this generation. The second weapon is the colonial curricula that are still being used in our schools. The third weapon is the governments, and you know my stance when it comes to African governments, the houseboys of colonial landlords. You know, we have the illusion that colonialism is a thing of the past. Don't kid yourself. What is another weapon? Oh, the media. You'll be sickened to your bones when you interact with people outside Africa and you hear what they think about Africa, because the only thing they know about Africa is what they see in the media, which of course is propaganda. Then you have the economic systems. Of course, there was a time when the so-called kings and nobles owned all the land and everybody else was a slave, a peasant, working for them, paying taxes to them, and so on. What do you think is happening now? Capitalism has simply replaced the feudal system, because the top 1%, the billionaires, they are the new landlords. The middle class, guess who they are? The same peasants wearing ties. They even call themselves graduates, engineers, and so on. But they are still, where are they working? On the farms of those lords. So the educational system is another ploy to prepare people for a new form of slavery. So you need to think about all these things, because asking questions is really the only way I know how to grow in wisdom. There is no textbook out there that will give you a prescription for how you should transform your life. There's definitely no miracle formula. Don't mind any guru who tells you that use the system, or any pastor that tells you that let me lay hands on you. All of them are just doing their jobs. They need your money. If you want change, start asking questions. Recognize the fact that this you that is running around, you're like a puppet, a character in a computer game. Somebody wrote the code and you're not even aware of it. But when you start reflecting, you start seeing things that you'd never even thought about before. So neuroscientists will tell you that 95% of your daily thoughts, words, feelings, actions, and so on, they are repetitive because they are from the subconscious mind. That is why you can actually drive to work, arrive at the office, and have no memory of something that happened along the way, and somebody's trying to draw to remind you about it. Did you see this so and so intersection? No, you didn't see it, because it was not your brain driving, it was your subconscious mind. You have done that activity so frequently that you now do it spontaneously, you now do it habitually. It's now from your subconscious. Imagine from the day you were born till today, imagine the number of patterns that you've created. Patterns of finances, patterns of relationship, patterns of diet, patterns of exercise, patterns of reading, patterns of prayer. Everything in your life is patterns. And this is not spiritual talk. There are now machines that can actually take a photograph of your brain and show you the neural connections that get created or get disentangled when you go through certain cycles of thought and feeling and so on. So if you understand that the world you're living in is like it's a matrix. After all, the universe is nothing more than a sea of energy and information, right? Therefore, every manifestation simply means a certain organization of information. So if your brain is the antenna that orchestrates the information that flows through you, it means that if you take control of your mind, it is only then that you'll be able to decide what gets in, how it gets transformed into what experience. So that's that. The essence of everything I write, everything I say, everything I do is just to tickle you, sometimes provoke you, sometimes push you to think, take control of your mind so that you can truly start being human. Because if you are the image of God, and God is spirit, consciousness, it means that if you are not self-aware, then you are denying your godliness. Tell me, what other sin can you commit that is worse than denying your godliness? See you next time.